Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, a short version podcast talking all things Pittsburgh sports. Today is Monday, September 30th. Technically, it is Sunday, September 29th. Just got back to my Indianapolis hotel with Jerry Dulac and Ray Fittipaldo following Colts 27, Steelers 24. A tough one for the Steelers. A slow start ultimately doomed them. They rallied back, tried to make good, but just could not get it done. Too many faults on the defensive end. Some curious decisions by Mike Tomlin. We will certainly talk about all of that. Before, though, I want to remind you that we are brought to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. If you're injured in an accident, you're probably wondering what's next. For over 4 years, Edgar Snyder and Associates has helped injury victims answer that question, whether it's gathering evidence, collecting medical records, or dealing with insurance companies. Edgar Snyder and Associates has helped over 75,000 people handle what's next. Call 1-800-4EDGAR or visit edgarsnyder.com for a free consultation. And remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you. So my big overarching point with the Colts game, we probably should have seen this coming, right? I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I was reflecting a little bit in the press box, even my own temperament thought, I think sort of the narrative around this team, it's 3-0. The defense has looked outstanding. Justin Fields is really good. The trajectory of things, you're even seeing teams that they beat start to look better and better. I think we got a little excited. And also probably the realistic, there are two things. Mike Tomlin teams, we don't like this. Nobody likes this. Have these trap, stub your toe, fall flat, inexplicably sloppy, whatever these performances. And obviously it's been a frustrating thing, and I'm not excusing it. Just it has happened. So to account for it in expecting one of those this season, kind of have that, right? At the same time, I think the Colts were a lot better and probably motivated than anybody would have thought. They're missing a lot of guys playing in front of a home crowd. They played really well. I was very impressed with the Colts. Anthony Richardson, their quarterback, when he was healthy, I thought was very good. He goes out, and they don't miss a beat with Joe Flacco. Surprisingly, I thought Flacco was really good when he came in. Now, is some of that the Steelers' defense? Certainly could have been. The pass rush, to me, was an issue today. They were so good at pressuring quarterbacks through 3 weeks, and that just did not happen. TJ Watt had 2 assisted tackles and nothing else. The injury to Alex Highsmith was costly. Nick Herbig stepped in, but really didn't do much of anything. DeMarvin Leal, I think, did do nothing. They just were not able to put pressure on Joe Flacco. Some of it was by choice. I know I sit next to Ray in the press box, and he was quite upset about them not blitzing. And I understand why. You've got the statue of a quarterback. Why are you not trying to bring more pressure? Ray asked that question of Mike Tomlin afterward, and Mike said that he's a veteran quarterback, a little bit more accurate with his passes. They didn't want to give up the numbers in coverage, essentially. I will disagree. I wish they would have put Joe Flacco on the move. I think that would have been a more sound defensive strategy. Wasn't the only thing strategically that you can kind of look at this thing and poke holes in. I didn't understand a lot of what Mike Tomlin did. First drive had a 58-yard field goal available, didn't even try it, punted. Why? You were going to try 62. They did try 62, outside with Chris Boswell. Why wouldn't you try 58 indoors with Bos? We watched him hit from 62 in warmups. I'd give him a shot. 4th and 1, line up in a shotgun. Zach Frazier has been very good and talked last week about how important the quarterback sneak play was to him. Why not give him a shot there? Why not just sneak it? I didn't like that. I didn't like lining up off the ball. Mike Tomlin was asked about that again and sort of explained how shotgun formation, you end up having a lot of runs and it's not really that different. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm playing power football there. I might not even turn and hand it again. It's just a quiet, silent lift up and go with Justin Fields. I didn't understand that call. Late, Tomlin's failure to call a timeout. 4th and 11, I believe it was, with 37 seconds left. Didn't call a timeout. We're up in the press box saying, why are you not calling a timeout? It didn't make sense. Tomlin, again, asked about it later, said he sort of wanted to go hurry up, limit their ability to substitute, anything like that, liked the tempo they were going at. No, call a timeout. It's the most important play of the game. Get your feet under you. Understand, scheme what you have there. That timeout does you no good. So just some mistakes that I didn't, or I should say choices that I didn't necessarily agree with. Now, there's some mistakes that I thought really stood out in this thing. We're going to take a short break, though, and I'm going to come back and talk a little bit about those. But first, a message from the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Welcome back to First 10. I'm your host, Jason Mackey. We're here Monday through Friday around 10 o'clock talking for about 10 minutes about all things Pittsburgh sports. Today's episode, obviously very heavy on the Steelers after their loss to the Colts in Indianapolis. So I mentioned those mistakes before the break. Some very costly ones, huh? The George Pickens fumble, I thought, was the most painful one of the day. Catches the ball, it gets down to the 5, turns, kind of carelessly handling the ball, gets knocked out. You can't have the turnovers in the red zone. You just can't. The fumbled snap was an issue toward the end. Justin Fields explained that he lifted his leg probably at the wrong time or signaled at the wrong time. I give him credit. He did take responsibility. He's got to catch that snap, and he absolutely does. Earlier in the game, he fumbled in the pocket. Just can't do it. Fields took a 22-yard sack. That was significant. There was a missed tackle by Dante Jackson that stands out. Joey Porter Jr. had a chance at an excellent interception. I mean, you can bottle this up pretty simply and just say the Steelers did not play winning football. They did things that through 3 weeks they had not done. I guess we should have expected that to wiggle loose at some point, but kind of frustrating that they were this should have been a chance to get to 4-0 and they frittered it away. All right, so what happens now? First and foremost, Justin Fields to me has to remain the starting quarterback. I wrote a column on this for A1 on Monday. I don't see how you move away from it. I like what Fields showed. I mean, he did not play a perfect game. Nobody, as I outlined, played a perfect game. But I like what he showed in the second half. Not a great start for the Steelers in general, down 17-0. But, Fields did not play his best football, but kept at it in the second half, figured it out, and I thought really gave the Steelers a chance. I would not do anything there. There are some injuries that are beginning to be a little bit concerning for me. Cordero Patterson left with an ankle injury. Jalen Warren's already out with a knee. Alex Highsmith is out. Isaac Seumalo, he should be back this week. Seumalo with pectoral injury. James Daniels also went out with an ankle injury. The offensive line is in a little bit of a concerning situation as far as depth. You've got Mason McCormick and Spencer Anderson, basically both starting right now. May change with Isaac Seumalo. Like depth of the wide receiver group. Pickens was good today at 7 for, I think, 113, despite the fumble. But who else did anything? You're not getting enough after 1 week, after one, sort of flash, nothing really other than a punt return from Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, nothing, Scotty Miller, nothing, probably didn't use Pat Freiermuth as much. So anyway, that's going to have to be something as well that they tap into their depth a little bit more. All right, for our final about 2 minutes, I want to just touch on the Pirates who ended their season 76 wins, same win total as last year. A little bit frustrating, right? They're probably going to come out and say there's progress. I don't know. This is a tough one to read because you can't really say there's progress. There hasn't been progress. It's the same thing. Can you talk about young guys getting better? No. Can you talk about how you're positioned for 2025? Maybe with the starting rotation. Some important guys got experience. I guess you could point to like Joey Bart, Luis Ortiz, Dennis Santana, guys they've either brought in or actually developed, but there's a far greater group that hasn't been developed. To me, that's a much bigger deal. The fact that you haven't gotten anything out of Jack Sawinski, Henry Davis, David Bednar has gone backwards. Like what to make of all this? If you think about what they did, they had the same exact win total, despite having Paul Skeens up for 23 appearances, Jared Jones for a lot. They spent basically $38 million on 6 free agents and 2 players they acquired via trade. You had an entire year of O'Neal Cruz healthy, and you have the same win total. To me, that's not progress. And I wrote that for my Sunday column saying, I think that Derek Shelton on down, they need to move on. It's nothing personal. It's just not working. They're behind schedule, et cetera. I talked about that, I believe, on Friday's episode of First 10, threw out some stuff from that. And if Bob Nutting isn't willing to make those changes, it's time to sell because that's what's necessary. You're looking at this thing saying, we have to do it. We have to do it right now. There has to be urgency based on what they have and how long people have waited in the city for winning baseball. This really isn't an option. Last topic I wanted to tackle was Isiah Kiner-Falefa. I don't know if everybody saw this, but he did not play Sunday. There's a clause in his contract that if he had 4 more plate appearances, he would get a $200,000 bonus. Obviously, a little bit of deja vu with Rowdy Tellez. I do think the Pirates, though, handled this one okay. I'm fine with what they did. He was out of the lineup Saturday. They realized it Sunday and said, do you want to play? You have the option to play. And he talked after the game, kind of gave an idea that there was not full health. Sounded like he was battling a knee injury. And I guess by the time they did this, which I didn't love, I kind of wish they would have approached him earlier, but they are giving him the option. Like, if it means that much, get out there. But he said, no, I'd rather let Liover Peguero play. It's wet. He's seemingly not feeling great. So I don't know. I'm not about to get in as much of an uproar. I guess I'm kind of out of uproar at this point based on what happened with Tellez, but that was certainly a situation there. And you know what? It's the last day of the season. They have much bigger fish to fry in terms of who goes, who stays. By the way, I think this was probably hinted at in other podcasts, but I can't imagine that anybody with the hit, like, they have to make substantive changes with the hitting group, substantive changes with the bullpen, and the $1 million question, obviously, is going to be Derek Shelton. So we'll see. We'll find out in the next couple of days. I'll be right here in this space talking to you. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can get all of this content and much more from other Post-Gazette writers and columnists. Thanks for checking out First 10. Be back on Tuesday.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.